Hey everybody, it's Michael from Wahoo Comics, here with another haul and speculation video. And as usual, I've got a bunch of books I'm looking forward to showing you, starting off with this one, Daredevil number 4 and a CGC 4.0. Now of course this book is just cool since it's an early appearance of Daredevil, but it's also special because it contains the first appearance of the Purple Man. As you know, I love to collect first appearances of villains, and so I'm really excited to add this one to my collection. I didn't know a whole lot about the Purple Man until I watched the Jessica Jones Netflix series. If you've seen the first season of that, you know he's the main antagonist there. And I thought he was just a really fascinating, interesting character. David Tennant, I think is the name of the actor, really knocked the role out of the park. And so I've been interested in that character since then. And so I'm super excited to add this to my collection. It's going to be interesting. I've talked about this before, kind of what they do with these Netflix series in the MCU now that they're not making any more shows on Netflix. It seems like some of those characters are going to be brought in to the MCU proper, and some are going to be written off like they never existed. So I don't know if he'll show up or not again, but I'm still happy to have this book. And this particular copy, I found out, has kind of an interesting story, at least to me. So I bought it earlier this week, and it came in the mail. And then on the label, it says sticker attached to back cover. And I think that's what brought it down to 4.0. This is actually a very nice looking copy, so I'm surprised it's graded that low. But on the back, there's a sticker here, and apparently this was sold at Goodwill at some point. That's a sticker 2 for 5 cents. So somebody, some decades ago, got an absolute steal on this issue. They must have picked this one up and one other one, 2 for 5 cents, under the original cover price even. And so I've just been kind of imagining who that person might have been. I don't know if it was the person whose collection this belonged to before it did for me. This is the third book I've bought from the seller here, and this had been his dad's collection, and he's selling it off now. So I wonder, did his dad pick it up from Goodwill decades ago and it's been sitting around, or was it someone else and then his dad got a hold of it? But I thought it was just pretty funny to think at some point somebody basically thought this was worthless, gave it to Goodwill. Somebody else picked it up for 2.5 cents, and it's definitely going for a lot more than that now. But I think that's always just fun. I love, one of the things I love about comics is that each book has its own personal history to it. So this has a history at Goodwill, someone getting a great deal at it. It has a history with being a part of this seller's collection or his father's collection, and now it's a part of my collection. And I just always find that stuff pretty cool and fascinating. And in some ways, it's a bummer that, oh man, if that sticker wasn't there, it would be graded certainly higher. I don't know, 5.0, 6.0 maybe. But at the same time, of course, it's more affordable to me at a 4.0, and it looks much better than that. So I am really excited to have this one. A couple other really nice books that I picked up just this week. First of all, we had this one, Batman number 227, which contains this classic cover by Neil Adams that is a tribute to Detective Comics 31. And so this book has a lot of value just because of the cover. And so it's one that I've wanted to add to my collection for a while, and now I'm super happy to have it. And it's one that I do plan off to send to CGC at some point, and I'm curious what it's going to come back as. It's definitely a really nice looking copy. And the seller threw in it really kind of cool, just little bonuses like this I think are neat. He sold me one other book this time, and I'll show you, but he included, just as a bonus, some DC collector postcards. And so one of them is the Detective Comics 31 that this issue is a tribute to. So I'll put them kind of side by side here. So Detective Comics 31, and then Neil Adams did homage and tribute in number 227. So that was pretty cool, and I thought the seller was pretty neat to throw that in. And the other book that I got from him this time was a book that I think is really undervalued. And so if you can find this one at any kind of decent price, I think it's a pickup. It's All-Star Comics number 58, and this book contains the first appearance of Power Girl. And I am always super surprised at how affordable this one is compared to what I think it should be. And I had been looking for it for a few months, and so I was really happy when the seller had it at a very fair price. And it looks really good, and I'm super happy to have it. It's one that if you're looking for a good book to invest in, I think this is a great one. I think it's got to go up. All right, and then we'll just show off mostly just a few budget keys, some things I've picked up for just a couple of bucks over the past couple of weeks. But if you're looking just for minor keys that are just cool to have in your collection, maybe they will grow in value. I mean, they certainly won't go down, and they probably will get a little bit of value, but no major things, but just nice things for a collection. First of all, Punisher number 4. It's from volume 1. This is the first appearance of Microchip, who, if you know the Punisher history, is kind of like his assistant, does a lot of behind the scenes work for him. And he was a part of the Punisher Netflix series. It will be interesting to see again if he comes into the kind of the proper, the proper MCU now. John Berthal, who of course was the Punisher in that series, is going to be in the MCU going forward. And so will some of these characters like Microchip be there? If he is, then this book will certainly grow in value quite a bit. But even if not, it's an important character in Punisher history and is neat to have, especially again, if you can get it for just a couple of bucks. And also Captain America number 362. And this book, again, if you can get it for a couple bucks, is a nice one to have. It contains the first appearance of Crossbones, who I think is a really fun villain. I wish they had done a better job of using him in the Captain America movies. I felt like he was kind of underappreciated there. But I would love to see him come back at some point. And I think he's a really great Captain America villain, and so happy to have his first cover appearance. I still need his first appearance, which is, I think, 360 or 361, something like that. But that's step one to getting there. And then another one, X-Men number 36. This contains the first appearance of an X-Man named Sync. And I don't think that character is anywhere near coming to the MCU, but you never know. Once the X-Men movies start showing up, what characters do they throw in? Who knows? But it's still cool to have a character who is an X-Man, their first appearance. You can get it for $1. It's a great thing just to pick up for your collection. And he has played a bigger role in the comics lately. He was a featured part of the X-Men comic series earlier this year, and so maybe there are some plans for him down the road, but who knows? But still, for $1, it's a nice thing to pick up. And then that brings me to my sleeper of the week. Something I've talked about with the Batman 227 and some other books, are how books with iconic covers are really gaining a lot in value. And so here is one that has really been picking up. It's X-Men number 11. And this is just an iconic cover, and it's just valuable because it's Jim Lee art that people have just really gravitated to and really think it's just an awesome cover. You have Wolverine and obviously the rest of the X-Men. And something I mentioned a few videos ago, Todd McFarlane covers have been increasing in value. And what's the saying? Something like a rising tide lifts all boats. And so as McFarlane covers have been increasing in value, I think that's starting to bring some of his contemporary artist covers to rise in value. And Jim Lee's like right under McFarlane in that. So a lot of his books have started to increase, especially they had the iconic covers like this one. I've picked this one up several times this year, usually for about $2, and I've been able to flip them on eBay for about 20. So if you can find this $1, $2, again, which I've been able to do many times this year, I think it's a great one to pick up. Whether it's just to add to your collection if you don't have it, because it is a beautiful piece of art, or whether it's to flip and make some money that then you can put into some other issues that you really want, it's a good one to have. So that brings me to my question of the week. So we're talking a lot about covers. I'm curious, what is your favorite cover in comics? And I thought about that question. Yeah, I came up with that question because I was talking about covers. And then when I started to answer it for myself, I realized, man, this is a lot harder than I thought it would be. There are tons of covers that I love. So I don't fully know, but what I'm going to pick is one. Recently, I was going through some of my comics and wanting to display some and trying to talk to my wife about, well, which one of these do you like? So that it's not just me throwing up something around the house that you don't care for at all. And so one that I liked that she also thought was pretty cool was Fantastic Four 244. If you haven't seen that cover, it's got this Galactus's hand coming up, and Frankie Ray is being turned into one of his heralds, Nova. It's just a cool cover, and that book has really started to increase in value lately also. But it's a really cool just mix of colors and just looks nice. So if you haven't seen that, check it out, Fantastic Four 244, an underrated cover, an underrated issue. But of course there's ones that are just completely iconic that I also love. Amazing Spider-Man 50 comes to mind, is right up there for me as well. But I'll pick, for this video, Fantastic Four 244, just because I think it's an underrated cover that should be way up there. So, what is your favorite cover? I'd be interested in hearing. Let me know in the comments. This is going to bring us to an end of the video. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate if you do. It would help out a lot. Comment about the question or any other things that you think we should be looking out for, or just other pickups you've had that you're excited about. Like the video, all those things. And hope you enjoyed it, and I always do. And until the next time.